Welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. This is for week 8 of the Premier League, and lots has happened recently. We've had cancelled fixtures, more cancelled fixtures, the Queen died, it's all happening. And just on that, I'm not sure why some fixtures have been cancelled over others. For example, Chelsea and Liverpool have been cancelled, yet you have Brentford and Arsenal going ahead. Now, I know that some teams have certain rivalry, so you need a bit more protection, but considering how big the Premier League actually is, they should be able to handle these sort of situations and get enough security in, even if they have to hire out some sort of private company to do so. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Moving on, let's go to the first game. First up, we have Aston Villa and Southampton. This is a massive game for both sides. More so for Aston Villa. We know Steven Gerrard is under massive pressure. He managed to dig out a 1-0 draw in his last game, which was impressive. But those results have to continue. For Southampton, they've had a decent start to the season, which probably shouldn't be surprising because we know Southampton are a team that, tend to do fairly well. Yet, when you looked at their fixtures at the start of the season, you would have thought they'd be struggling. Yet, they're doing alright. Going to this one, this will be a tough game. Either side could win it. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Next game up is Nottingham and Fulham. This will be a tough game for both sides. Well, actually, speaking about Nottingham, I don't know how the fuck they lost their last game. They were 2-0 up against Bournemouth, and they were cruising. Then all of a sudden, Philip Billing pops up, scores a wonder goal, and it all goes downhill from there. I don't know how Nottingham lost this game. Very poor defending. It was shocking defending, let's be honest. Absolutely shocking defending. And in the end, they probably deserved to lose. That last goal was just absolutely ridiculous. It's unforgivable. And yet again, Nottingham concede multiple goals in a game. I think Nottingham are in massive trouble. They're conceding a lot of goals. And they really need to fix things up at the back. Otherwise, they are really going to struggle to stay up. And for Fulham, they've had the opposite problem. I think defensively they've been alright. Maybe they could score a few more goals, but they're doing well this season. A lot better than I expected. Well, considering how the last two campaigns have gone. Anyway, going to this one, this will be a close game. Either side could win it. I think it'll be a 3-1 win to Fulham. Next game up is Wolves and Man City. I think this will be a tough game for Man City. I know Wolves, they're struggling to score goals, and that is the theme of the season, but I'm sure at some point things will just click and, they'll start scoring. For Man City, they did get a 1-0 draw against Aston Villa, as I just mentioned. It was a poor result. They should have won that game, but didn't manage to do it. And for some reason, I think Wolves will be a tough game for City because Wolves do like to, handle possession. Obviously, Man City are sort of the kings of that, but I think Wolves have a real chance of winning this game. But either way, this will be a tough game for Wolves. It'll be a close one. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Wolves. Next game up was supposed to be Brighton and Palace, but this game has been postponed. Next game up is Newcastle and Bournemouth. This is an interesting game. I didn't expect Bournemouth to win their last game against Nottingham. I'm still trying to comprehend how they actually won that game. It still doesn't make much sense to me, but, there you go. And for Newcastle, I think they've been slightly disappointing recently. They haven't picked up as many points as you would expect. A few weeks ago they did draw with Man City, or maybe that was a month ago, and that was a really good performance. But since then, things haven't really picked up, so I'm not really sure where they're at. But either way, going to this one, this will be a close game. It'll be a tough one. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. Next game up is Tottenham and Leicester. This will be a tough game for Leicester. I don't see Leicester winning this game. They are shocking defensively. I don't know how they're this bad defensively. It's almost as if they've come up from the Championship. No offense to the Championship sides. Obviously, Fulham are doing well. But what is going on at the back? I thought they had some decent defenders. No, I'm sure they do. I'm not sure what's happened to Soyuncu. He's a player that they've had on the books for the last 3 to 4 years. Maybe he's out of form. He might be injured. I haven't really looked into it. But, he was a really key part of their defense at one point. Johnny Evans is getting on in age, so maybe that is an issue. The other problem was they didn't sign enough players in the summer, so that's probably coming back to bite them now. There were reasons for that, but it's kind of ridiculous that things have come to this point. But, either way, obviously Tottenham have been poor recently as well, but I think they win this one 3-1. Next game up is Brentford and Arsenal. This will be a tough game, once again. Arsenal did lose to United in their last game. Probably shouldn't have lost that game, but they were naive defensively, so, if you don't, basically, if you don't defend well, you're going to get beat. And for Brentford, they did well in their last game. They scored, 5 goals against Leeds, which I think Leeds, I'm not sure where they're at. Obviously, they did beat Chelsea, and that was a really impressive performance. But then, performances like these where they were absolutely shambolic. Doesn't make much sense, but we'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, this will be a close game. Either side could win it. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Next game was supposed to be Man United and Leeds, but that has been postponed for another time. Next game up is Everton and West Ham. Excuse me. This will be another tough game for both sides. I have mentioned before that Everton have improved pretty much every game they've played this season. Obviously, they started poorly, but they're getting better every week, which is surprising because this isn't something that you see an awful lot. Normally, teams tend to start badly and, they don't really improve that much. Yet, Everton have looked really good and the trajectory is up. So, that is a good sign. So, well done to Frank Lampard. And for West Ham, obviously they had a poor start to the season. I'm not really sure why, considering how they finished last season. But, obviously they bounced back and it looks like they are their old selves. Obviously, losing to Chelsea is a game they probably shouldn't have lost. It'll be interesting to see what happens from here. Because I'm not sure exactly, how many points they'll pick up in the next 10 games. But, we'll see. But yeah, going to this game, it'll be a close one. I think it'll be a 1-0 win to Everton. The last game for the week was supposed to be Chelsea and Liverpool, but this has been postponed for a later time. So we'll have to wait and see when this fixture will be rescheduled. And that's about it.